do their bit in uplifting South Africa's young sporting talent. Now, one such star is South Africa's very own first black female to row across the Atlantic Ocean. What a champ. Welcome, Thato Mabelane. Good evening and thanks for joining us on Sports Live.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Now, Thato, you were born in Tembisa, and as a South African reality, not many township children are privileged enough to even go outside their own communities to see what's out there, let alone fall in love with water sports. Please give us some background on how all of this happened with you.
Sure. I basically started rowing at school. I was 14 when I joined my rowing team. I studied at a girls' school called Holy Rosary in Edenvale, and basically fell in love with the sports. I then went on to Rhodes University and rowed there for my turner when I was studying there, and then I got to represent the country, so moved to Johannesburg, joined RAU then, now called UJ, and so just continued with my SA squad rowing and varsity rowing, and basically the rest is history. And how I got involved in the ocean rowing is a friend of mine from Rhodes University, Cameron Bellamy, called me up in 2011 to ask me if I wanted to do something like this. I thought he was crazy. I actually told him he was crazy. And just in March, I just completed 43 days across the Atlantic Ocean.
That's wonderful. Can you take us through some of your career highlights, especially those that came about when you were in the South African rowing team?
Basically, I made a double, like a squad in a double with another rower. Her name is Catherine Shaw. We went to represent South Africa in Spain, and we raced in the FISA Teen Cup, and we came 8th there. And in 2004, I also represented South Africa in the World Student Games in France, Brive, and we came overall 7th for that. So those are my highlights, yeah.
Thato, I'm really keen for our viewers to get to hear about your world-breaking attempt for the fastest Atlantic Ocean crossing of 32 days. That sounds crazy. What was the whole purpose and the outcome of that whole attempt?
Basically, the fastest crossing, as you said, is 32 days, and we wanted to do sub 30. Obviously break it by 2 days, and it's basically trade winds that assist you to actually do that. And the whole purpose of us doing that is to raise awareness and money for various charities. I was in a multinational crew this time with people from, one person from Brazil, 2 people from London, 2 people from Scotland, and another South African, his name is Stuart Conacher, who also raised funds for his charity during this ocean row. So we actually took 43 days because within the first 10 days we had a current that was going against us, which meant whatever effort that we were trying to propel the boat forward, we were going backwards by like 2 knots every single day. So we took a long time, which obviously wasn't the plan, but we crossed successfully.
Well done to you and your team on that. Now, Thato, how did you guys prepare mentally, physically, to be out at sea for so long? I'm sure it must be quite draining.
Yeah, it was draining. Basically, I mean, myself personally, I trained for 3 years for this because for 3 years I was trying to raise funds to actually get to do this expedition. And how you prepare mentally is, I don't know, actually, it's basically in terms of how you interact with people. So like a lot of conflict resolution situations that you find yourself in, and always try and, dissolve conflict, because a lot of the time that we spend together is in confined spaces in the cabin or in the boat itself, and you have no outlet whatsoever to say, you know what, I'm going to go for a walk and and cool down, because if you go for a walk, you're going to sink or get eaten by a shark. So it was a lot of conflict resolution type of exercises that you did off obviously before you went on board, and the physical training, it's basically just getting your body ready for working out 12 hours a day. So what we did is I did a lot of cross training, so a lot of swimming, a lot of running, a lot of rowing on the ergo machine, because I didn't have access to a rowing boat, and basically a lot of walking, just getting your body used to doing strenuous exercise over extended periods. So that's what I did to prepare.
I quite love the fact that you guys incorporated the whole charity, helping out charities in your world record-breaking attempt. Tell us about your affiliation with the Ubunye team, the Ubunye Challenge. What is that all about?
Basically, this is our group that actually contributes towards charities. So we are affiliated with 2 charities, 3 now, because the latest one I included with my expedition now. It's the Vemba Challenge, which is based out in the UK. And then we have the Angus Gillis Foundation, but they're now called the Ubunye Foundation. They focus on early childhood development, and they're based in Grahamstown in the Eastern Cape. And then lastly, the third charity is Bulamahlo Orphanage, which is an orphanage in Tembisa where I grew up. So that's who we're affiliated with.
Now, Thato, what are some of the ongoing challenges that you face as a South African rower? Is there anything specific that maybe the Federation or the sporting department can perhaps give special attention to in the sport?
I think a lot of funding. Just on the record, I retired from rowing in 2006. So I'm no longer an active rower in terms of rowing for the country or anything like that. I don't even belong to any clubs. This expedition was a separate expedition altogether, but I just wanted to get that on the record. Just in terms of challenges, though, that I faced when I was rowing for South Africa is basically just funding. Rowing it's quite an expensive sport. You need the equipment itself is quite expensive. Coaching in South Africa is quite expensive. So if you want to do well and you want to excel, beyond your international peers, you really need attention from a personal coach, and there's not enough. So funding. I think funding and awareness about the sport. I mean, in 2012 we won a gold medal at the Olympics. I mean, not me personally, but our country won a gold medal, which was our first gold medal actually at Olympics. So I think government should really focus on, really contributing to sports like that, to uplift, the sport, because it's not really a spectator sport. I think that's why there's not attention around the sport, but it's really, really awesome, and the people train really hard to get where they get to. So lots of funding.
Thank you so much, Thato. What a phenomenal guest you were tonight. That is Thato Mabelane. We look forward to hearing some great stuff about her as she continues, helping out as she is behind the scenes, but still making sure that she continues making a name for herself. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back.